Hello there, happy Monday. It's actually Labor Day, and I'm Dr. Shiroko Sokitch, owner of Heart to Heart Medical Center and the author of the book, Healing When It Seems Impossible: 7 Keys to Defy the Odds. And today I'm going to talk about Chinese medicine, but I'm going to talk about it from the perspective of digestion and also seasonal events. So in Chinese medicine, every organ is got physical functions that are different than Western medicine, and they have a time of year and a time of day. And I'm going to talk about our digestive system from the perspective of Chinese medicine because it's actually very, very interesting and so much that can empower you to take care of yourself in a way that makes you feel, more balanced and better and all of that. And it'll help you. One of the things I love about Chinese medicine is that it can help you understand your own body better. And a lot of times, years ago when I was an ER doctor, I used to see patients in the emergency room, and it was when I was just beginning to study Chinese medicine. And I'd have patients that come in and they'd have symptoms or concerns that they did not understand, and we would do all the labs and everything would be normal. This happens a lot these days as well. And I remember that in Chinese medicine, there would always be an explanation because it was based on the whole idea of energy. So, this time of year, beginning of September, is the time of year of the spleen and stomach. Every organ, like I said, has a time of year and a time of day and an optimal period of function. So in summer, in early summer, is the time of the heart and small intestine, which is when, and I didn't talk about that this year, but I will at some point. But the spleen and stomach regulate the sort of later part of summer, which is also traditionally the time of year that we harvest lots of foods, and that that there's a lot of abundance of foods available from the earth. So in Chinese medicine, the spleen regulates your ability to take in food, to transform that food into energy, and to transport it to the rest of your body. It regulates the strength of your muscles, your ability to focus, so the ability to use your brain. It makes the blood, which is the same as Western medicine, and it holds the blood in the vessels, and it holds the organs in place. And so when women in later life start to have like a uterine prolapse or bladder prolapse, or when you start having easy bruising or you can't concentrate, it also reflects the emotion of worry. So that's when your brain can't stop, and you're just constantly thinking. And a lot of people have symptoms of these sorts of things. So one of the things about the spleen is, well, and the stomach. So I'm going to talk about the stomach because the stomach's job is to take in the food, of course, and to transform that and to help the transformation of the food into energy. And so the stomach is the pot that cooks your food. And I know there's a lot of people that talk about eating only raw food. Well, if you have a weak stomach and you only eat raw food, you might not feel well. I see a lot of patients who have issues with their digestion where, as soon as they eat, they have diarrhea. In Chinese medicine, especially like if you eat salads, people always think that salads are really healthy. But actually, if you have a weak digestion and you eat raw salads, it might not digest well, and it might cause gas or bloating or diarrhea in some people because they don't necessarily have a strong stomach. So again, the stomach is like a pot that cooks your food, and if there's no fire in the pot, or the pot doesn't work right, then you can't cook your food, and then you can't really digest it very well. So there are many, like if you think about it, many symptoms of people with digestive issues that might not look like digestion, like easy bruising or prolapses of organs, or varicose veins, or inability to focus, or constantly worried or feeling anxious. These are all symptoms of digestive or spleen stomach imbalance. So how do you balance your spleen and stomach? Because what I love about this is, a lot of things in Chinese medicine are fairly simple. Like if you can just listen to your body and tune into it and start to work with it, you can begin to improve your digestion by doing some simple things. So one is you should eat all of your food cooked. The spleen also likes the color yellow, so root vegetables, because it's connected to the earth. So root vegetables like sweet potatoes is one of the best because it's yellow, and B, it comes from the ground. And so spleen or yams or sweet potatoes are really good for your spleen. It harmonizes all the other organs as well. So because it's the center of your digestion, so when you chew your food really well and you eat slowly and you pay attention to how you feel when you eat, these are all things that will help you function better in your digestion. So on some level, because it is so connected to what we eat, then what we eat will make a difference, and how we eat will make a difference. So a lot of people say, eat your food slowly, be conscious when you eat. Well, that is a really big deal for Chinese medicine, because if you eat slowly and you chew your food well and you pay attention to how you're feeling when you eat, that really makes a difference. So chewing your food really well in your mouth is where the digestion begins. So you just chew like 20 or 30 times. And I know these are sort of sometimes considered old wives' tales, but they really are true. And I remember when I was an ER doctor and a surgery resident, I would just, throw my food into my mouth and just chomp it down, because I had never any idea when somebody was going to come running into the emergency room in a state of emergency. So I always had to kind of eat fast. And of course, there was always that sense of alert, because you never knew when something was going to happen. And so for me, of course, one of my issues is digestive issues. And I have over the years learned how to chew and pay attention to my food and all of that stuff. Anyway, so yams are a food that the spleen really likes. Chewing slowly, eating all your food cooked. If you eat cold raw vegetables, try to eat them at least at room temperature, not freezing cold, because again, they will freeze your stomach and then it won't be able to help you process your food. If you have a lot of anxiety or difficulty focusing, there are herbs and supplements that will help that, but also eating the right foods will help with that. So I always say to people who have like trouble focusing or anxiety to eat 3 meals a day at least, sometimes maybe 5 meals a day, where you eat something for breakfast within 1 hour of getting up. Eat something, maybe mid-morning. Chew your food really well. Make sure that every meal has some protein, has some solid vegetable matter, and try to focus on the foods that you're eating, and it will help you begin to feel better and more grounded with your body. Another thing that you can do is actually massage your belly. And I'm not sure that you'll be able to see this, so I'm going to put my camera down a little bit. But you start with your belly button right here, and you go around your belly button, starting sort of on the right side of your belly button, and go around towards the left, or up and towards the left, and kind of slowly rub all the way around your belly. And you could do this first thing when you get up in the morning, and just kind of gently rub your belly all the way around, because this is where your small intestine is, and you kind of just work your way around it and then go up and around and up and around. And that helps the food process through your belly, but it also helps the energy in your belly work better, which might help you with digestion and focus and all of those things. So I hope you found that helpful and interesting, and I look forward to talking to you again next week. Have a wonderful day. Thank you.